Right, so here we are. We're at a lovely little lake called Haslam's. It's my first session on here this year. It's a premium lake on the ticket that I'm on. Just had a quick walk round. I've not seen anything just yet. I didn't expect to be honest, but do know this lake quite well. Plan of action at the minute, I think, is to set up just on the end of the wind. It's a circular sort of lake, so you tend to, I've caught them, right in the middle of the wind, but you tend to find them on the back edge of that wind. And luckily the wind, we've got a nice southwesterly, changing to a westerly later on in the day. But the wind's blowing to a bank that I'm quite confident in anyway. We call it high bank. So plan at the minute is to set up there, like I say, just on the corner on the edge of the wind. When the wind changes direction, if I've not had anything by about 11, 12 o'clock, then I think we'll move a bit further around and follow the wind. But I'm feeling quite confident about that spot anyway. So I might just have a bit more of a look round, see if I can see anything, see any reeds knocking, which is a good indication this time of year. And if I do see anything, of course, I'll set up there. But it's a lovely lake. Like I say, it's a premium lake, and there are some premium fish in here. So hopefully I'll be able to show you one or two. It is notoriously a difficult lake, but I think just like any fishing, if you're on the fish, use simple carp fishing tactics, I should be able to get a few out. Well, not a few today, most likely, but if we can get one out in a day session, that's good going on here. So we'll give it a go and have a bit more of just a quick walk around again, probably do another lap, and we'll see what we can find, and we'll get fishing. So we're all set up now, got all 3 rods ready to go. Just wanted to talk you through what I've done. So in all of them I'm using the same pellet mix. So what it is something called THC flavoured. It's not what you think. It's tiger nut, hemp and cinnamon. So we've got pellets in there, and we've got a bit of THC ground bait in there as well. So all 3 of my rigs or presentations are going to be based off that. Got one PVA bag, solid PVA bag that's going in, obviously with that pellet mix in, and a nice sweet pink pop-up in there. One of them I'm chucking out, well, the other 2 are PVA mesh bags with the same pellet mix, one of which is going to have a THC bottom bait that's drilled out in a snowman style, with the same pink pop-up as the topper. And then the final one is a THC pop-up, which is sort of match the hatch. So they are quite spooky fish in here, so I'm hoping that might trip them up. They just see a little patch of food of those pellets, and that pop-up's just going to hopefully blend in with those pellets on the bottom, and then hopefully they'll come along, suck it up, and hopefully we can catch one. Do. Just going to rest this one in the margin, get the rod back out on that spot, because on this pond, if you just don't pass up an opportunity to get back on there. We're going to bag him up, get that rod back out, same tactic, and hopefully we can bag another. but we'll have a look at this one in a sec. So I wasn't lying when I said there's some absolute premium fish in here. You know, not a mark on him. £17, clearly on the feed, right belly on him. The rod was in a couple of hours. I was getting a few liners, so I knew there was stuff down there. But like I say, absolutely premium fish in here. Not a mark on him. Cracking fish, absolutely screamed off. I thought I got the fight on video, but I didn't. But not to worry. Caught this one on the match the hatch approach that I was on about. Like I say, they are quite wary fish in here, so I think with that bait just blending into the ground bait and the pellet, you know, I think they're none the wiser to that, so I think that's something I might carry on with. Put the same tactic out on the same spot, so if there's anything else down there, hopefully we can trip that up as well. Lovely way to start. If nothing happens here after this fish, I'm gonna end up moving. So I'm gonna get some stills, get some pictures of him, and then slink him back. Get in. So I'm no longer in that spot anymore. I know a lot of people would think it's, you know, not the best idea to move swims if you've had a fish, but knowing this lake and how intimate and small it is in terms of the width to the far margin, they are very spooky in here. And like I said earlier, all morning leading up to that bite, that first bite, was I was getting liners. You know, on and off I was getting liners. So since that fish, I didn't have any indication of anything. I mean, I had some beeps. I think that was just the wind shaking my bobbin. So I decided to have a move round. I followed the wind round, and actually, as I've sat down here, moved all my stuff, I have seen a carp cruising across the top. So if you see a fish, fish to it. So initially I hadn't actually seen any fish when I decided to move, but I'm just following the same pattern I did for that first one, which is just fishing off the back of the wind, where it's a little bit more sheltered, and where it's less windy the water will heat up quicker because the wind's not blowing blowing that warmth off the surface. So I mean, it worked before. So hopefully it'll work again. So I'm just setting up my rods. I'm going to put fresh baits on. And where I had that bottom bait before, that sort of snowman rig, I'm changing that for the same presentation that caught me that fish. I do think it's quite a good approach. I think the carp will, hopefully the carp will see it. They'll just see that patch of bait and not see a bright pop up over the top. And hopefully that tricks them into thinking that it's where there was a rig before.
there's been a deposit of bait. It did have a pop-up on it, but with this pop-up blending into the mix, to the pellet mix, I'm hoping that sort of tricks them into thinking that it's safe and there's no longer a rig on there. Whether or not that is what happened with the other fish, we'll never know, but it worked, so I guess you can't go wrong with that. Another perfect specimen. It was getting on a bit. My friend who you saw net the fish had one a couple of hours ago, and I thought that was sort of the end of bite time, but persevered, sat on my hands, and were rewarded with this. Again, perfect condition. Bit smaller, I didn't bother weighing this one, but still welcome all the same. A lot of commons been coming out recently. Hopefully we can start getting into some of the mirrors, because despite these being pristine, some of the mirrors in here are what make this place quite special. I'd say he's £10–11. Let's get him back. So all in all, it's not been a bad session. Like I said at the start, it is notoriously quite a difficult lake, so 2 fish in a day session's not bad going. I did chuck the rod back out for the last half hour, but I can't see anything else happening now. That fish caused a lot of commotion, and with it being so quite close to the far margin, that does tend to spook them off a little bit. The sun's setting now though, so I think it's going to be time to pack up soon. Cracking session though, really enjoyed it. Got some good footage. I am thinking to come down again in a couple of days, so I might extend this video if anything happens then. But if not, I'd like to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.